Hello, hello, and it's time for another British Guy Reviews American Beer. And well, you can see, what do I have before me? I have American light lagers. And I'm going to try and do a blind taste test, an honest blind taste test, and I intend to be brutally honest, by the way, of these actually 5 beers. I'm doing 4 of the big boys: Michelob Ultra, Bud Light, Miller Lite, Coors Light, and the 5th wildcard is a can of Pure Project, and it's called Rove, which is, they say, is a light adventure beer, but it's essentially a light lager. And this is a craft lager from a small brewery in San Diego County in Southern California. So that's kind of my wild card, and I'm going to blind taste test these. I'm going to put them in order of preference. I'm not going to rate them. I'm just literally going to say which do I prefer in order. Now, I'm going to try and fool myself here. So I'm going to blindfold myself, and I'm going to attempt to pour beer blindfolded into 5 numbered glasses. And then I'm going to give them a try and rank them. So I won't know what I'm drinking when I'm drinking it, but what I will do is here, there, or wherever, I will be putting the name of the beer that I'm drinking so that you guys can kind of follow along. So the overall test here is, of course, it's summertime, it's 100 degrees outside, everyone's reaching for their lagers and their light lagers for a thirst-quenching beer after work. Which is the best one to drink? And can I distinguish the craft light lager from the big macro lagers? Honestly, if I can't, I'll think twice about posting this video. But hey, let's see what happens, right? So again, I've thought this through, and what I'm going to try and do, I'm going to pull the bottles over to one side and can. Got my numbered glasses here. I'm going to open all the bottles. I am going to blindfold myself, pour, move a full glass over to my right-hand side, try not to pay too much of attention to which order I put the glasses in, mix them up a little bit, take the blindfold off, and then here we go. And let's see if I manage to pull this off in a fair and unbiased way. Well, there's a slight color difference between some of them. I got number 4, which is a little bit darker than the other ones. Number 3 is probably, number 3 and number 1 are probably a little bit lighter. I don't know. Carbonation wise, I would say number 1, number 2, and number 3 all look extremely similar. Number 4 is a little bit darker, similar levels of carbonation. Number 5 actually has a little bit of a head on it and has actually retained its head a little bit. Similar color to 1, 2, and 3. So there's, I'll try and describe, yeah, so there's number 1. There's number 2. Number 3. So number 1, 2, and 3 all look extremely similar to me. Number 4, slightly darker, but in terms of like consistency, I would say that very similar to 1, 2, 3, and 4. And number 5, very similar in color to 1, 2, and 3, but immediately it's got the head on it and it has a much finer carbonation. I don't know if you can see that. I would guess straight off the bat that number 5 is the Pure Project, but I'm not gonna let initial perceptions influence me. So number 1. Yeah, grainy, light sweetness. There's a cardboard smell in that. Yeah, cardboard. Number 2. There's cardboard in that as well. Not as much. There's a bit of kind of light citrus, a little bit of kind of like a little bit of green apple as well there. Again, they both smell a little bit sweet, but I mean, you're trying to pick out hop aromas in those, and there isn't a great deal there, let's be honest. Number 3 smells doesn't smell of a lot, to be honest. Number 3's got a little bit of an alcohol smell to it. I guess they kind of all do. Yeah. Number 1's probably got, of those 3, there's a bit more kind of citrus there in number 1. Number 4, that kind of it's got a little bit more of a toffee flavor, aroma. Still sweet. Very, very, very small amount of kind of hop. I mean, not a lot there. Number 5. Again, it's not. I mean, it's not overpowering. I'm still. I'm going with my. This is the Pure Project. Pretty clean. It's got a little bit of kind of a light lemon citrus and almost a little bit of a white wine. Doesn't smell as sweet, but there is kind of some grain there as well. Right, taste. Any order. Number 1, start at the beginning, right? Rice, maybe. Number 2, got kind of a that's got there's something a little bit unpleasant in number 2. Number 3, That's really, that seems really similar to number 2. A little bit of kind of minerally, maybe a little bit of a tang there, I don't know. Number 4. Yeah, I mean the darker color. I think I smelt a bit of kind of caramel in it as well. There's a kind of a darker malt sweetness to that one. Number 5. Number 5 has a lot more flavor. Not in that I mean it's a light lager. It's not overpowering at all. Number 5 is the first one I'm picking up even a touch of bitterness on. In fact, that as the beer kind of cleans up, there's a noticeable bitterness to number 5. Right, that's the best beer. Yeah, that's number 5 is way ahead of the others. I'm not going to go into flavors and what I'm picking out because I'm conscious of the fact that this video is probably going to be about 20 minutes long. So now I've got to try and figure out what I'm going to mix up the order a little bit. So number 3. After number 5, that's sweet. Kind of a little bit of honey there. Number 1 is watery. I'm having trouble distinguishing 2 and 1. 2 probably just a little bit more. There's a little bit more grain on the finish, maybe. Four is a difficult one. It's got a little bit more about it. It's just whether or not I prefer it. I think because they tend to be kind of nondescript and flavorless. The fact that there's a little bit of caramel in number 4 probably is putting it ahead of the others. Three is the worst for me. One and 2 I'm finding difficult to distinguish between. And 4 is very different, but I'm trying to figure out whether or not it's ahead of 1 and 2. I'm going to go 5-4, 2 and 1, equal ranked third, and number 3 in last place. So I'm sure I'm going to be able to put the names of the beers somewhere up in terms of an order for you guys. But the number 1 for me is number 5. Number 2 is number 4. Then I've got a tie between 1 and 2 for third place. And number 3 is last. The only beer I enjoyed was number 5. I'm going to hurriedly go and replay this video back to myself and pray that number 5 is the Pure Project. The others, I mean, like, I'm going to say that number 5 is streets ahead, and it was very difficult to determine between the other 4. Number 4 I put slightly ahead of the others just because there's a little bit of extra malt flavor there, but they're all pretty nondescript beers, and I think in terms of putting 4 ahead of the others, that might have just been how I feel on the day, especially drinking kind of these watery ones and just getting a little bit more flavor from number 4. So there we have it. As always, put your comments in the comments box. What's your favorite light lager? Always great to hear what you guys think. I am eagerly anticipating the order that I've put these in and knowing what I've just done. So as always, like, comment and subscribe, and I will see you next time on British Guy Reviews American Beer. And cheers for now from number 5.